I was sitting at my kitchen table with a cup of coffee, minding my own business, when all of a sudden, every light in the house blinked out and silence rolled in like a heavy fog. So thick you could almost hear your own heartbeat for the first time in ages. You ever notice how loud refrigerators are until they stop? At first, I figured maybe I'd popped a breaker, old panel, old house, stuff happens, right? But then I heard it like a tidal wave of cussing and grumbling pouring down the street, and when I looked out my window, I realized the whole block was down, not just me, and you better believe the neighborhood group chat lit up faster than a 4th of July sparkler accusations flying. Somebody blaming the city, someone else swearing the power company was out to get us, the usual circus. And then this message pops up that nearly makes my coffee go down the wrong pipe. I just saw Karen outside with some kind of weird device. She pointed it at my house, and boom, everything shut off. Now, if you haven't met Karen, let me set the scene. The HOA president, self-declared sheriff, queen of the covenants, you know the type, clipboard permanently glued to her hand and a fine for every occasion. She once clocked me 37 minutes late taking my bins off the curb, and another time she measured my grass with a tape measure like she was on the PGA Tour. Never let it be said she didn't take her job seriously. But jamming the entire grid, even for Karen, that was a leap. So, naturally, I head outside, flashlights bobbing up and down the street, neighbors in pajamas, cursing the blackout, someone wailing about ruined groceries. And there stands Karen, smack in the center of her driveway, sporting a smirk that could curdle milk, waving this black box with antennas poking out every which way, looking like she stole it from the set of Mission Impossible. "You're welcome," she shouts, like we ought to thank her. Now no one can steal Wi-Fi because I've jammed every illegal signal on this block. And if you ever want to see a crowd turn on a dime, try telling folks you single-handedly killed their TV, their fridges, and their baby monitors, all in the name of integrity. Somebody yells their oxygen machine just shut off, another's crying about ruined breast milk, and the rest are just stunned, staring at Karen like she's lost her mind, which, let's be honest, isn't a new look for her. She starts going off about electromagnetic integrity and protecting the neighborhood from hackers and freeloaders, and all I could think was, lady, you just killed half the street. So I lean against my fence, keeping it cool, and ask, "Karen, so you bought some kind of radio death ray, fired it at our houses, and you're calling it public service?" She turns on me, her eyes sharp as ice picks. "It's not a death ray. It's preventive, and I'm saving you all from yourselves." She's clutching that box like it's the Declaration of Independence. Then something wild happens. The street lights above her start flickering and die, one by one, dominoes falling. It wasn't just houses now, it was the whole grid. Panic starts to ripple. Simeon's shouting, "Shut it off, Karen, before you fry everything." But Karen just tightens her grip and shouts, "This is my authority. I decide what's safe." That's when I realized we'd gone from petty HOA drama to full-blown community crisis. And honestly, a part of me couldn't wait to see what she'd do next, because I knew right then I was going to take her down, and I'd enjoy every step. The next morning looked like the aftermath of a suburban hurricane. People were out in their driveways, cradling melted ice cream, dead laptops, you name it, like survivors of the great appliance extinction. The air was buzzing, every conversation pointing in one direction: Karen's porch. And there she was, sipping her coffee with the self-satisfied air of a dictator whose coup had gone off without a hitch, the infamous black box perched right next to her croissant. She waved at me, that smug little wave, but I just smiled and waved right back. Nothing gets under the skin of someone like Karen more than a polite smile. Believe me, I've tested this theory. By noon, my inbox dings an emergency HOA meeting, called by Karen herself. Subject line screaming, "Neighborhood security breach." The body reads like a bad manifesto. She discovered a criminal Wi-Fi ring, acted decisively, and we should all be grateful for her leadership. Meeting at 6 p.m. Mandatory. Of course, if you didn't show up, Karen would find some way to fine you, citing bylaws no one's ever heard of. Dog barked after dusk, holiday lights before Thanksgiving, you name it. The community center fills up like a pressure cooker. Parents red-faced because their kids couldn't watch cartoons, freelancers fuming about missed Zoom calls, and Karen strides in, black box in hand like it's the Stanley Cup. She calls for order and starts preaching. This was not a power outage. This was a necessary intervention. We are vulnerable to hackers and Wi-Fi poachers. As HOA president, I neutralized the threat. She proposes a Rule 1 Wi-Fi router per house, all devices registered with her for inspection, and fines for anyone who doesn't comply. The place erupts. People are shouting, "You're not the FCC!" And, "This is crazy." I let her rant, then raise my hand, real calm. She pounces, "Finally, a reasonable neighbor." I grin, "Karen, what exactly qualifies you to regulate wireless signals?" "Got an engineering degree." "Any kind of license." Silence. Karen's lips go tight, and she snaps, "I have common sense, and as HOA president, my authority covers safety issues. Signals are safety issues." I just shrug. Funny, because I looked it up. Signal jammers are federally illegal. They block emergency calls, police, fire, ambulance. So when you protected us, you might have killed 911 too. Her face twitches, neighbors start murmuring, and suddenly people are Googling laws right there in the meeting. Folks start piling on. Baby monitors out, medical devices down, one guy's oxygen concentrator stopped. Karen's smirk cracks, but she doubles down, ranting about extraordinary measures. And, "If you have nothing to hide, why not let me inspect?" That's when I knew she was in way over her head. And if she wasn't going to back down, I'd have to beat her at her own game. So I spent that night setting up cameras, one hidden in a birdhouse, another in a fake rock, even a smart plug to track power surges. If she fired up that jammer again, I'd have the evidence, time-stamped and ready. 2 nights later, around 9, the street goes dark again. I spot Karen sneaking outside in pajamas, clutching her box, scanning the block like a burglar. Porch lights flicker, Wi-Fi dies, but my cameras catch everything: her, the box, the blackout, the whole 9 yards. Next morning, I send the footage out to the HOA vice president, the neighbor whose medical device failed, and a friend at the utilities department. Didn't even need to write a message. The video said it all. By noon, the group chat is ablaze, screenshots flying, people talking about police, lawyers, you name it. Karen fires off an all-caps threat: "Anyone distributing defamatory footage will be fined $500 immediately." Yeah, good luck with that. The neighborhood flips. Folks are gathering in driveways, organizing petitions to boot Karen, swapping stories about her sneaking into backyards, peeking in windows. Turns out she's been inspecting people's routers at night, clipboard in hand. She's not just overbearing now, she's trespassing. A petition circulates to remove her, and I sign it, but I know she won't go down easy. Right on cue, she strikes full power cut, no warning. This time, neighbors pour out, some shouting, a couple even charging her driveway. But nobody wants to be the one arrested if cops show up, and that's Karen's favorite weapon: fear of escalation. But she's outgunned. My smart plug and cameras catch everything, and I send the whole package to my friend at the utilities company. Now it's not just HOA troublites, grid stability, a real federal headache. That night, the chat is a war zone, but with a harder edge, no more complaining. Now it's action. She's going down. Tomorrow, community center, bring everything. Next day, it's an uprising: 24 neighbors, printouts, photos, even thawed freezer messes laid out like a crime scene. But Karen's a no-show, which is weird. We finally spot her when a white SUV pulls up and 2 men in utility uniforms get out equipment cases, clipboards, the works. She struts out, waves her jammer in their faces, calls them underlings. And no kidding, fires up the box right in front of them. 3 houses go dark. The utility guys don't even blink. One calls something in on the radio, Karen starts screeching, and within minutes, 2 cop cars roll in, blue lights painting the block. The officers confiscate her box, tell her she's facing charges, and she shrieks about tyranny as they drive away with her toy. And just when you think it's over, nope, 2 days later, she blasts another email, recruiting a neighborhood compliance task force to do door-to-door electronic inspections. Insane, right? But a handful of retirees and the block conspiracy theorists sign up, giving her a little army. Now it's not just Karen, it's a brigade. They march up and down the street with clipboards, most doors slam in their faces, some folks curse, but a few let them in, maybe out of fear, maybe just sick of fighting. But here's the thing: Karen's power only works if people stay silent. So, after my last round of footage her sneaking around my fence line at midnight, snipping what she thinks is my security wire, it's a decoy, my real system's safe underground, I upload it for everyone to see. Group chat explodes, memes, jokes, people calling her Wi-Fi Karen, and the cable cutter. Her remaining allies go quiet. One even comes to my door, handing back his clipboard, saying he's not comfortable snooping inside people's homes. Karen fires off more threats, fake footage, deep fakes, lawsuits, but nobody's listening anymore. One afternoon, a convoy pulls in, utility trucks, police, and the big guns. An FCC vehicle. The neighborhood pours out, phones up, as the FCC agents calmly announce they're investigating unlawful signal interference and unauthorized grid manipulation. Karen tries to block them, but the officers hold her back. The garage door rolls open, and there at Issa Frankenstein lab, blue lights, antennas, homemade towers, all buzzing and sparking. The FCC agents shake their heads, documenting everything. Severe interference risk. One mutters. They shut it all down. Karen loses it, screaming, lunging, flailing as they haul her off in handcuffs, shouting about conspiracies and bandwidth corruption. The street erupts, people cheering, hugging. The witch is gone, right? The next 48 hours, the HOA board calls an emergency election, boots Karen, and a sane, calm VP named Denise takes over, promising no more nonsense about Wi-Fi or routers or signal inspections. The utility crews spend a week fixing fried circuits and nearly blown transformers, the bill climbing over $20,000, and rumor has it, the HOA's insurance is chasing Karen down for every penny. As for me, folks drop by with cookies, wine, even offer me their vote for HOA president, which I politely decline, since I'd rather wrestle a wildcat than deal with that circus. The block goes back to normal. Karen's house sits dark. Rumors fly that she skipped town or is facing federal charges. Nobody really cares. Then a month later, I get a thick letter, no return address. It's Karen, still blaming me, demanding I confess for the good of the neighborhood. I feed it to the shredder, laughing. Life moves on, kids back on their bikes, yard sales, lost cat flyers, group chat full of plumber recommendations instead of legal threats. Feels good, breathing easy in a block where the lights stay on and the only thing jamming your Wi-Fi is your own damn password. And hey, tell me this. If you were in my shoes, would you have pushed back or played along? Drop a comment below, right or wrong, justice or just another suburban showdown. Let's hear your take.